A journey I began 2 decades ago when curiosity and cultures made me step out into the world, led me home to India after decades exploring the world. In a millennium where everyone speaks of the future, joy has come to me at home. I find that our joy lies in ancient knowledge. A 5,000-year-old knowledge lives on in all those who still practice the timeless way. Joy and serenity are the gifts I continue to receive from this ancient culture I was born into. Bringing true joy to those who seek it too is the next stage of my journey. What is true well-being? Here in India, it is all around me, hidden in plain sight, the ancient living here and now in the present, within our reach.
Namaste. Master Vibhushri ji, very happy to sort of meet you all over again. And this time I really want to get into a lot of detail. As you know, I've tried to be in the yoga tradition for a few years now. It's now almost 13 years. Asanas, the whole meditation aspect of it, and particularly the chanting aspect of the japa aspect of it. And I have found that to be a very powerful experience for me in the last many years. And I've seen it change me at some deep level. This time I want to, from you, understand what is actually going on. And of course, in our Hindu tradition, in the ancient Indian tradition, sound is everything, is the base. Everything has started with sound, of course, Om, the primordial sound. Of course, modern science now talks about sound as the beginning of everything, the Big Bang and all of that. So I think it's a wonderful subject to really delve deep into. And I'm really thankful for the time that you've given to go through this. Thank you very much. What is Nada Yoga and what is the practice that you offer to people, and how will it help people in their journey of well-being?
Well, the nada is nothing but the divine sound. The sound but the divine. So when it comes to a sound, we organize the sound in a way that it becomes a yoga. So all the sounds, and these sounds are called, or it is measured in the frequencies. Different frequencies, different vibrations. There are different frequencies, and there is one common frequency which operates on it. In Bhagavad Gita it is called as a giram. Giram means vibration. And rest of other things are laharis. So laharis are nothing but the number of frequencies, different frequencies. When you remove L, then it becomes Hari. So that is the meaning of your name. Hari. Hari is the one vibration.
Is that original?
Original vibration, the Hari. If we are not rooted in Hari, then we are lost in all other sounds. So the Nada Yoga, where we organize different sounds, the prominent sounds, which can take us to the Hari. That is the Nada Yoga. So the whole world, because of the too much of knowledge available,
Too much information
available. So when you are loaded with too much information, then it becomes chaos. Along with the confusion, then there is a instability. Along with that, then there is an imbalance. And more than that, there is a struggle. So for us, struggle is unnecessary. Struggle is unnatural. There should be ease in life. Ease around money, ease around life, ease around relationship, is around health. However, we are struggling in each and every area, and this is all because of the chaos. And the sound naturally brings you to the clarity. So the state of reaching clarity, we can call it as a Nada Yoga.
And so let's touch a little bit upon the actual practice itself. What should we do to reach that Hari?
So there are number of practices, number of tapas, number of hard work is people are doing. However, in our Nath tradition, in our Nath parampara, we say it is very easy, sahaj, asan hai. First you remove the number of vibrations which are there, which are not yours.
So get rid of.
So get rid of the unnecessary, get rid of what you have accumulated. So that's the reason to replace this. First we start with listening to certain music. Certain mantras are there which can replace this.
And for that, you take in some sound which is more aligned to what you are and gets rid of all of this. Okay, fair enough.
However, it is very easy to reach to the sound of Hari because it is everywhere. It is everywhere. It is in the book, it is in the music, it is everywhere. The problem is the chaos within me, and that chaos comes from my DNA, very DNA, the DNA which I have inherited, not acquired, inherited. And then from the environment, what we call as epigenetics. From the environment, we pick up the fear, we pick up the number of emotions. So, slowly and gradually, if we start to remove this, the basic thing, and then it becomes very easy. This is a natural phenomenon. The Gurumukhi is also Nad, which comes from the Guru Parampara. So, when Guru gives you a kind of a sound, that sound comes with the Nada, means Nada is that particular frequency which operates in us. So, more than the sound, that Nad, the Nad which has given to us
is what starts to operate.
Yes, that is the main vehicle. So there are ways. Certain masters they give as a sound, certain masters they give as a water, certain masters they give some kind of a prasad.
Got it. So what you're saying is each of them actually has the nada embedded in them, and there is that path to Hari which is kind of embedded in that what they are giving, and you have to get that.
You have to get that. You have to receive that.
And so again, just to sort of close on this point, so the practice that you offer people, this point is a method for them to receive that from you.
Yes. So the first chapter, the Bhagavad Gita's very first chapter talks about the Vishad Yoga. Vishad means sadness, depression. Why people are getting into depression? However, Bhagavad Gita says, yes, depression is good. It has to come. And it comes in each and every lives. It has to come. But if we understand how to turn the depression into the yoga, that is called Vishad Yoga. The Russian research says that the sound and frequencies can change our DNA patterns. So that is how we can work on the DNAs. Then after working on a DNA, the second chapter comes. Second chapter is Sthita Pragya. The person who is very rooted in his personality. He is stable. He is balanced. He is very secure. And that happens when he comes down to his navel. Now the navel is the center of all our DNA. The DNA communicates to the navel, and that's where it is said all 72,000 meridians, they meet in our navel. If you go to the south, there is a temple called Padmanabha. So we worship their navel.
It is in my hometown, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's in Trivandrum, where I live, and go there fairly often. Yeah.
And you will be surprised that Bhagavad Gita says Padmanabhasya. The Bhagavad Gita will be understood by the person who is Padmanabhasya, who is well rooted in his navel. And that is how it is delivered to me also.
And I have personally also felt that to some extent in some of the chanting that you do, that you can feel that there is something there. And I've never really explored it beyond that. So this is a great opportunity. So explain to me what the power of the navel and what is the practice I need to follow for what?
So whatever words we utter, the impacts on each and every muscles and center. We Indians have sometimes very funny gestures, it seems, for others, but they are not funny. They are related. They are related with the words. So every words we utter, they creates a kind of a gesture because there are certain moments are happening. There are certain openings are happening. So what it does, it creates a kind of a sensations in the body. Zzz, after a while, that is nothing but the Nadi Yoga. Zzz. We call it as a Vari.
So you're saying every aspect and everything that happens to you, you can transform it into yoga. Yes. And through that find that connection with the Hari.
Exactly. So the Bhagavad Gita never teach you the asanas. It talks about the yoga, even Vishad Yoga, Karma Yoga. Everything is yoga. So everything is actually everything. Every damn thing can become a yoga. And what is the medium? What is the medium to take you inside. Sound is the only medium.
Got it. Okay, so that's where it connects into the. Okay.
Without sound, it's difficult to connect with any context.
So what should we do? What is the sound path that I need to go through to learn how to listen to what's going on in my own state?
This is very easy though, but it requires a kind of a work initially. For example, it happened accidentally to me. Accidentally, I met with near-death accident. So accidentally, what I could observe is there is a great blast happening in my navel. With the great fear. I was in great fear, oh my God, I'm going to die. And with that fear, I could see the great blast happening here inside my navel. And from that moment, I was fearless. But then later I realized it happened because of the Krupa, the grace. The master who has graced me long time back. And that was taking a shape. But it took 12 years.
So now, for the person who is in the daily life, how do they access that ability to listen to themselves, awareness, that internal awareness? How do they start to go on the journey of finding it?
Well, I can tell you, there are three kinds of sounds in this world. The three virtues, tamas, rajas and sattva. If you see the traffic, if you see the serials what we watch on TV, that sound mainly people are liking the tamas sound. Even the bhajans are sung in a tamas way. We cannot stop this. We cannot stop tamas. We cannot, and that is not possible also.
It's not necessary probably.
It is not necessary. What we need to do is, in a day, find out a time where you are going to tune yourself to the sound of sattvic. Second, listen to someone who has achieved this. Because, again, I come from a science background. So whatever I'm speaking, it has to be science-based.
And what's the science of that? The sound aspect of the.
So Dr. Tomatis is a scientist. He said, whom you are listening to. If the person, for example, if you have never heard a sound of love, you'll never get into love. So people, they think I'm listening to a love song. No, my friend, it is not a love song. It is a sad song most of the time. Otherwise, we are always in a different mood. Moods are not in our control. They run us. We don't run our mood. But here in this case, that the moods are very in control of yours, because you can start to see, oh my God, they are coming. You just observe them. Okay, let it be. Now you know how to work with them. You start to perform yoga internally, and then it is taken care. It is transformed. It is transformed. This is what the yajna is.
So we are talking about sound, and we are talking therefore for most people also about music. How does music fit into all this?
This is a lovely topic. This is absolutely a very nice. I mean, people are really interested to understand about music, because music is something of great importance. So that's where we formed a company called Wellness Vibe in 2012. The Wellness Vibe means Swasthya Tarange, the vibrations of wellness, where we started to give the vibrations. For example, somebody has an anger problem, then we used to give him an opposite frequency.
When you say give him an opposite frequency, you are referring to some sounds.
Some tracks. We created tracks. Okay. Specific tracks we created. And that has worked miraculously. We created various tracks on various illnesses. Even the life-threatening illness like a cancer, people have seen a great impact. And even Times Group, they awarded us in 2017. However, our interest was going more towards spiritual. So that's where we started to help people with Wellness Vibe. So we started to give them the tracks. Then we created programs like a DNA activation, then navel activation, and the people, those who want to have a flowering impact, the beautiful life, for them the Padmini Vidya. Padmini Vidya is Vidya, mainly it was designed for kings.
In the ancient times, it was meant for, okay. So let's explore this a little bit, Padmini Vidya. I was intrigued by when I came across that about that.
Bilkul, yes, definitely. Well, the Padmini means the flower, the lotus. And the Padmini means the flowering in your life. And in Padmini Vidya, what you do is you learn how to transmute my belongings into the sattvic thing. If at all I have acquired through the tamasic way, rajasic way, Now my next journey should be a sattvic way. How I can transfer that? And then there are certain consecrations happens in that person, and with that consecrations, that person is totally changed.
Changed in what way?
In the way he thinks. The very first thing is he becomes aware. We call it as a bodha. That's the reason we also call bodha marga. Where after the Padmini Vidya, he grows into awareness. Automatically he understands what kind of thoughts I am getting into. Okay, whether to go into that choice is there, but at least he has a choice. Normal person doesn't have a choice. He's simply victim. He just flows away. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita says even the battlefield can be a yoga. Why not my likings? Why not my bhogas? The awareness is contagious. No matter what, how many books you read, the power of presence or the how to get into present moment, no matter what, how you remove the number of patterns and frequencies and whatnot. But the awareness comes only when you meet with the person who is in awareness. So the Padmini Vidya is a Vidya which is transferred. It's consecrated in that person. So and more than any object, more than the water, more than any object, the person is the most powerful phenomenon to get consecrated. He transfers dramatically.
So, to summarize, what does sound affect well-being?
Look at the people, those who are staying in jungle, they are more natural because they are listening to the sound of birds, the chirping sound, the sound of waves. That makes huge difference. So when we are exposed to the sound of nature, we become natural, so the health. But when we are exposed to too much sound of machines, we become like a machine, we become a mechanical. And mechanical brings the kind of a stress, anxiety. That's where the illness is. But what we can do is, we can bring the sound of nature, or we can bring a dose designed in a manner which can gives us in a kind of essence. So that is what we...
And that can counteract all of the other sounds that are affecting. So you can bring that essence of something primordial, something from nature, and by bringing that into your life, you can counter the effect of all of this.
So that's where even the God chooses someone who is focused. So this well-being is not just in the health area, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, in all the areas, it brings the well-being. The wellness, we say swasthata. You become a person who is established in self. So that is where the sound plays a great role. I mean, no other thing can play a role like sound does. रामा म्हणे जीव होतो कसा विसर, केली तुझी आस आता बरे. जय हरि विठ्ठल श्री हरि विठ्ठल, जय हरि विठ्ठल श्री हरि विठ्ठल. विठ्ठला नर्त सुर होए जात निमख में, गुरु बोध सिखलाए. रामा तारले रे, Thank you, Ji. Thank you. Namaste.
My journey continues. Please join me on my next exploration.